Hey guys, welcome back to the Mutual Friends podcast. How are you? How are you doing? I want to make sure my mic is on. It is. We're okay. I just had a little bit of a fear moment. How are you? How's your week going? I guess if you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, it's Monday. So I'm hoping that it got started okay. I'm hoping your weekend was amazing. Getting into the warm weather, at least we are in Charleston in the thick of the humidity is coming. We're less into spring now and much more into summer. The beach days are starting. I think that we are going to have our first Charleston beach day this Saturday, this coming Saturday, this weekend. I'm so excited. Nice christening of the beach for the summer. This time of year is the best. I'm trying to structure my days where I have my admin work during the times that the sun is out a lot, so I can put on my bikini, go out to the backyard and tan. Just was like, ooh, you should nude tan in the backyard. I was like, that's, as much as I would like to do that, both of our neighbors would be able to see, and the neighbors on one side have children. I just don't feel like, being put on the list. So, but other than that, I don't really have a lot of updates for you. We're going to Rockville meaning me and Joseph are going to Rockville next week, which is going to be the week that you are listening to this. We go to a sleep token listen to this schedule that we have for ourselves. No, I'm not breathing. We will work Monday, work Tuesday morning, leave Tuesday to drive to Atlanta. We will go, which is about a 4-hour drive. We will go straight to a Sleep Token concert, which is one of our favorite bands. It's like a metal rock band, sort of. And we'll go to that concert, sleep in Atlanta, wake up Wednesday, drive to Daytona. At Daytona Speedway, starting Thursday, is Rockville, which is a 4-day rock music festival. Breaking Benjamin, Evanescence, Motley Crue, Falling in Reverse, who else am I thinking? There's so many bands. Those are just the ones at the top of my head. 4 days. 4 days of that. And so that will start Thursday and Sunday, and then we'll come home Monday, and I don't know, crash, die, I have no idea. But yeah, we're coming up on a big week. Very exciting. I've been planning my outfits for this. And so actually after this, I have planned to go through my outfits. I think I have everything in that I ordered. Go through, plan it out, try on every outfit, feel really good. Obviously, this is going to be more rock festival type thing. The Sleep Token concert especially, I have a very special outfit for that one. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the Instagram pictures. You guys are going to see all of it. Of course, I'll be vlogging, which will be super, super fun. And then right after we get back, I'll start planning for Italy, because I go to Italy in July. So I got to do the outfit planning for that. Very exciting times, very exciting times. Today's episode is a fun one. It is a poll episode, and it is not just a poll episode. It is a spicy poll episode. I was very excited to do this one, and I had a couple responses from my polls that I will sort of share, and that warranted these polls, because I think that some of this is honestly to shed away some judgment. Anyway, well, I won't get into any further. These polls are going to be really, really good. Very excited. Let's jump right into the group chat. If you are new here, the group chat is what we begin the podcast with. After I'm done chit-chatting, then we talk about the top 3 stories in pop culture that we want to discuss, muse over, etc., and we call it the group chat. So let's get right into it. First of all, so this is sort of a two-parter. So Barbara Streisand left a comment on Melissa McCarthy's Instagram asking if the actress had used Ozempic. And it's so funny. Her comment literally is, "Give him my regards. Did you take Ozempic?" So it sounds like a text message. And she said, so Barbara Streisand, after she deleted the comment, but then after she said, "I just wanted to pay her a compliment. I forgot the world is reading." So literally it's as if she thought she was sending her a text message. I don't know. But then Melissa McCarthy is the best. She posted a video response, and she said, let's see if I can
The takeaway, Barbara Streisand knows I exist. She reached out to me and she thought I looked good. I win the day.
I don't know if you could hear that, but essentially, Melissa McCarthy was like, essentially what I understand from this interaction is that Barbara Streisand knows I exist and she thinks I look good. So and then she says I win the day. So it was just very, very cute. It was funny, like a funny interaction from Barbara, and then Melissa McCarthy just took it in stride. I can't get over that Melissa McCarthy is also Suki in Gilmore Girls, like very different eras of hers. She is I love her. I think she's so sweet and cool and funny. She's so funny and her range is magnificent. I think she's recognized, but I think she's under recognized for her versatility in acting. I love Melissa McCarthy. I'm going through, I don't know, my 4th, 5th, or 6th, I don't really know, I lost track, watch of Gilmore Girls. So we're having a wonderful time. Next story, Emily Blunt is a Swiftie. The Fall Guy actress shared a sweet story with Howard Stern about meeting Taylor Swift alongside her eldest daughter and how the TTPD artist had the best compliment for her. So essentially, Emily Blunt went on Howard Stern and she was talking about Taylor Swift. She said she was a Swiftie and she was talking about Taylor Swift meeting her kids. She was like, oh my God, she was so nice to my kids. And get this story. So when Emily Blunt met Taylor Swift, like at one point her kids met Taylor Swift and her oldest had just gotten a haircut, a really, really short haircut that she was a little bit self-conscious about. And Taylor saw her and was like, oh my gosh, like you look so cool. You look so 60s. Like, I love your style. And of course, like to the kid, like that meant everything. Like that was, and Emily Blunt was just talking about how sweet Taylor Swift was to her kid. And it was a really cute story. And so I love that. I haven't listened to a lot of Howard Stern stuff, but I'll just see clips and everything. And I have a feeling that I would really, really enjoy his podcast. I love Emily Blunt. I think she's fantastic. And with like Anne Hathaway's, all her promo for The Idea of You and all the stuff that she's doing right now, I feel like the Devil Wears Prada stuff is coming back up, and just talk about two women that are iconic, timeless, so poised. I want to know their routines. I want to know everything that they do. I want to know what they, like, when they wake up in the morning. What does Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt do when they wake up in the morning? They probably drink tea, because they would be the people that drank tea. Oh, I wish I was somebody who drank tea. I don't. I drink E-Boost in the morning, which is a vitamin health drink, so that's something, but it's certainly not Earl Grey. And last story. Get this. Why David Beckham is suing Mark Wahlberg's fitness company F45. Okay, what is the news to you? That David Beckham is suing Mark Wahlberg's company F45, or that Mark Wahlberg owns F45? Yeah, I didn't know that. Also, have you been to F45? I kind of want to try it. There's one downtown, but it's a little far for me to like actually get a membership, but I kind of want to go for the funsies. Anyway, so get this. So David Beckham is suing actor Mark Wahlberg's fitness company F45 Training. Just to clarify, he is not suing Mark Wahlberg. He's suing F45 Training. Also, Dad, why didn't you tell me you owned F45? And the case is finally moving forward. Beckham filed this lawsuit back in October of 2022, and according to the report by People, the case was updated on Wednesday, even getting a trial date in January of 2025. God, these things take a long time. Here's the background on the case. F45 is a franchise of fitness centers with locations all over the world, and celebrity partnerships have helped it grow rapidly over the last few years. Wahlberg's investment company bought a minority stake in the business back in 2019, and in 2022, Wahlberg himself was named as the chief brand officer. When Beckham sued the company, he claimed that he was hired as a global brand ambassador for the company, but was never paid. He claimed he began this role in 2020, and by late 2022, he had decided to take legal action. The timing is important here due to F45's tumultuous history. The company was launched in Sydney, Australia in 2012 by founders Adam Gilchrist and Rob Deutsch. I'm sorry, Rob. Father Rob, and expanded rapidly over the next few years. They sold franchises overseas starting in 2015, moving into New Zealand, India, and other parts of South. This, you know what? F45 gave Australian energy. I should have seen that. Finally, they moved into the UK in 2017 with a bang, selling 50 franchises in quick succession. In the next few years, F45 took root throughout Europe and the US as well, drawing attention from public figures like Wahlberg in the process. Wahlberg's initial investment was reportedly intended to fuel further expansion, and it brought the company's estimated value up to $450 million. Dang. The company's global appeal makes it easy to understand why Beckham would be such a great asset as one of the most famous players of the most popular sport in the world. However, in 2021, F45 began to see a cascade of issues, including gym closures, falling stock prices, and threats of lawsuits from investors. That led to employee layoffs and hasty restructuring, which did not stop massive losses in 2021 and 2022. The company lost a total of $372 million over those 2 years, and Gilchrist stood down as CEO. Finally, in August 2023, the company was delisted from the NYSE amid warnings of noncompliance with listing standards. It was in this context that Beckham claims he was not paid for his partnership with F45. According to his lawsuit, Beckham fulfilled his part of their agreement by endorsing and promoting the company, and he enhanced its public profile and credibility and helped roll out new fitness offerings for F45. He claims the company was supposed to repay him with shares in the company, and it failed to do so in a timely manner. He estimates that he lost $9.3 million on the stocks that were transferred too slowly as the stock price dropped continually. He claims that there was an additional $5 million worth of shares that were simply never delivered. Whoa, okay. Well, I hope that David gets the payment he deserves, and I hate that he's going over Daddy Mark. I won't ever stop calling him Daddy Mark now that I have gotten so many questions and so many comments that I look like him, asking if he is my father. I've asked Mom. To my knowledge, Don Boss is still my father, but I cannot deny the resemblance. But anyway, I found that more interesting that Mark Wahlberg is an owner or investor or whatever it is of F45. I have yet to go to a class. Like I said, it's a little bit farther downtown. And if there's one thing I'm going to do when I look for fitness options, it's look within a 10-minute radius. Yeah, I don't go much farther for fitness. No way. No way. I went to that. I don't know if I think I talked to you guys about going to that Pilates class. It was so bad. Oh my God, it was so bad. And I will never go back there again. And now there's within that radius of a good driving distance, there's maybe 3 places to go work out. So I'm going to try one more yoga studio. Maybe. I don't need to add another thing to my list. Anywho, then. That was the group chat. I hope that you loved it. I hope it was interesting. Oops, Howard Stern, stop talking on my phone. And now we're going to get into the polls. And what's fun is that I have not looked at the answers to these polls yet. I put them up and then I said, all right, let's see how this goes. But I was getting a lot of messages, so I never saw the final tallies of the polls. So let's go through these spicy polls. I'm going to go one by one. First of all, do you flush your tampon? You know why I asked this? First, well, let's go into, so 37% said yes, 63% said no. I had several people, and this is all anonymous. I'm not going to say who said what or whatever, but I had several people comment, swipe up, saying, who flushes their tampon? Guilty as effing charged, okay? I don't, listen. I did not know that this was bad until probably a year ago, okay? I am turning 27 this year. I think I got my period at 12 or 13. I don't really remember. I started using tampons pretty straight away. I hate the idea of pads. So yeah. For over a decade, I've been flushing my tampons. Nay, a pipe has been broken. Everything has been fine. I've never had an issue. Not once. So, for all those people, I literally had people who the hell does this? Bitch, I do. That's why I put the poll. And you know what? You know what? Forgiveness and grace to those who flush their tampons. Because some of us didn't learn. And some of us, like when you're doing that, like when you're like pulling it out, like I'm just trying to go about my day. So I don't remember. Okay? So right now we're at about a 20% chance of me flushing it because I forget. And you know what? That's good enough for me because it used to be a 20% chance of me not flushing it because 80% of the time I would just go through the motions and that's what I do. I didn't know who, like to me, when I first heard that, who the hell puts their tampon in a trash can? That's disgusting. I understand that's apparently what everybody's been doing. But do you realize, like when I heard, like somebody was like, wait, you do that? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you know you're not supposed to do that, right? I said, what? Can you think of the mental calculations of all the tampons that have been inside my body that have been flushed through our toilet system? The amount of years I've been doing that? Now, lucky for the United States plumbing system, as if it, like I'm like affecting it all, I didn't have a period for many, many, many years when I got on birth control. So maybe that was my saving grace, truly. So for anybody who was looking at that and be like, oh, what the fuck? Some of us didn't know and needed grace. Next question. Have you cheated? 17% said yes. 83% said no. And I did state that we are counting kissing in this. And reason I put this on is because, yeah, you know, I want to be honest, because I technically did. Like when I'm going to give the whole situation. And this is not to say this is good, but like let's drop the juicy tea. It's the podcast. Like we're all friends here. So when I was right before I got with Joseph, I was with another guy. I'm not going to name his name. He was very kind. Like he was a fine guy. Like there was nothing necessarily wrong with him, but we were young and we also went to two different colleges. He was 2 years older than me. So when I was a freshman in college, he was a junior, and I had been dating him since my sophomore year of high school. So I dated him in his senior year of high school. So we had been dating for 2 years and a little over 2 years, and 2 of those years had been him in college. Anyways, so I got into my first year of college, and is that right? Was he 2 years older than me or 1 year? No, I think it was 2 years. Junior. No. I'm a liar. I'm a big fat liar. So we started dating my junior year, his senior year. Then we spent a year apart when it was my senior year of high school, his freshman year in college. And then I went to college in a different city, whatever. Long distance. We did long distance for a while. And that last year, like, was so weird. The last 2 years, whenever he went to college, it was obviously, I think it's like relationships in high school and college are different, or like it's a little bit harder because one person is in a very, very different stage of life, and it's a stage of life that requires so much change. So there would be like days on end where like he wouldn't talk to me, like he just wouldn't text me back, and he said he was studying, which I found very weird. And our last year, it was similar. It was less of a relationship and more of a pen pal that I would hear from sometimes. But Joseph did not, I wouldn't say like he pursued me, but the guy knew about Joseph. He knew that we were best friends. We hung out all the time. And the week that I was going to break up with this guy, I had been hanging out with Joseph, and I knew that I had feelings for Joseph, which was why I knew that I had feelings for Joseph, and it was because Joseph was giving me the attention and being kind and filling a lot of the roles in a best friend manner, but that a boyfriend would, that my boyfriend had not in a year and a half-ish. So I kissed him, and this all worked out. I broke up with Ryan within a couple days, and then I waited I think 2 weeks, and then I started dating Joseph, and now we're married. Like, it all comes with a happy ending. But I was like, I bet that's going to be a surprising number. And yeah, we've got 20% who said they did. I'm not like advocating for cheating by any stance, especially infidelity and things like that. But I purposefully put kissing on there because I knew that I was technically in that boat. Going back, I should have ended. Oh God, I was so easily manipulated. I was so like, I could write a lot of behavior off. I really should have ended that for the both of us so much sooner. And we both agreed that we had not been in a real relationship in a long time. But anyway, have you cheated? 20% said yes, 83% said no, 17% said yes, 83% said no. Have you been cheated on? 53% said yes, 47%. Over half people have been cheated on. That seems, I feel like I'm kind of surprised by that. I feel like that would be a lower number. And of course, I think that we're carrying over like that kissing counts, which I totally consider as counting. Like, you know, wow, 53%. Damn. And I bet a lot of this, mainly because, oh, this is totally me stereotyping, but like a lot of our audience is like women. And I think that a lot of people who are cheated on, like when I hear I was cheated on, it's usually like the more extreme versions than, you know, me kissing another boy in high school. And also, I never told that guy that I did that because that would be rude. Anyway, next, is it okay for someone to go clubbing without their partner? 83% said yes, 17% said no. I love this. I think that's super secure. That is great. Just when I've talked about this before, we are very pro like going out with your friends. Like I go club. Joseph's not really like the clubbing type, so if he's going to go with me. I definitely am. Like I like to go out with girlfriends, even if we're not drinking. I think it's fun to go dancing and stuff like that. So that is really great. 83% said yes. Now, would you or did you change your name after marriage? 70% said yes. Also, I'm not able to see like how many people of this were like men versus women. I would assume that a lot of the men said no, because that's not really something that a lot of men do. But, you know, let's see. I don't know how many men, there's no way for me to see how many men and women answered this, but 70% said yes, they would, or they did change their name after marriage. 20% said no, they would not, or did not. 6% said they would take a hyphenated name, and then 4% said other option. How many? 4 votes for other option? I'm pretty sure I didn't get any DMs about what that other option would be. I'm gonna double check. Any? Let's see. No, I don't think I got any, unless if you sent me a message and I didn't see it, let me know. But nobody told me what their other option would be. What the heck? Anyways, okay. Next one, if your partner was an actor and had to kiss their co-star, would you have a problem with it? 28% said yes, 72% said no. That 28%, 32 votes for yes, you'd have a problem with it. I find that kind of high. But like, you know, it is what it is. I wrote this one because I was in a music video, and I think that Josh is a very secure guy. I think, you know, we would probably need to talk about it, but if I were to like be in a movie or something, like we definitely have to chat that out to respect things, stuff like that. But I was in a music video, and he was like, oh, what was your part? So I like explained what my part was, and I was not the love interest. I was a bartender coworker, and he was like, oh my gosh, because I would want to know, like, if you were, who's trying to pursue you, whatever. And I was like, yeah, like, obviously I would tell you. But I thought that was funny. I was like, oh, like, you know, now this is a music video, and this is also with, like, I was with a friend, so I would not have been like kissing my friend. But I was like, oh, interesting. Like, if I were cast in a movie and I had to kiss somebody, like, would you have an issue? And then if he were cast in a movie and he had to kiss somebody, would I have an issue? I don't think so, because I just don't even consider it the same thing. It's work. But yeah, 28% said yes, they would have a problem with it. This poll I was really interested in. Do you read your partner's texts? I want you to think about the percentages here, okay? About how many. Ready? 30% read their partner's text messages. 70% do not. I found that really interesting. I think like I have my, like what I would vote for. I have my preferences, I have my biases, but no judgment on any of these answers. I don't read Joseph's text messages. We have each other's phone codes, but not because it wasn't like a discussion of like, oh, like, you should have my phone code. Like if you want to go through, like, oh, this is a sign of trust. It was just like practicality. Like if he hands me his phone in the car to change the music, like I can get it in, or like anything like that. But I've never read his text messages. I've never really been in a spot where I felt like I needed to either. I think that's one thing. I think a lot of times when people read each other's text messages, or even like give each other's passwords, or your partner gives you their phone so that you can check their text messages or anything like that, that usually comes from past experience, I find. So 30% read their partner's text messages, 70% do not. And then another one, do you check your partner's Instagram activity? This was a lot lower. So 9% said yes, 91% said no. I thought that this would be higher because I thought it would be more likely that somebody would like be conscious of, oh, I saw, my boyfriend, my girlfriend liking this picture. I saw that they follow this person and these accounts, whatever, than them going into their phone and checking their text messages, right? Like in my mind. But no, only 9% said they checked their partner's Instagram activity. The next one, will you go to bed mad? 56% say yes, 44% said no. I think that this comes with nuance as well. Like we've talked about like things like that and fighting and stuff. And there's a difference between like going to bed angry, like on purpose, like you're going to hold a grudge against this person, you're mad at this person. I'm not going to sleep in the same room as you, like blah, 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 that type of thing. And then sort of almost like taking a break in the conflict, like, hey, okay, we're not going to find a resolution to this. We need to sleep. It's almost like, in my head, going back to neutral and like giving each other space and giving each other time to breathe and think, and then coming back, because we may be able to come back with a better perspective, a fresher thought process, maybe be kinder, more understanding. I think there is a difference there. So 56% said yes, 44% said no. I think if I were to answer this, I would probably say no, mainly because I don't, well, let's go. Before I go there, we've got another poll about like how you approach a fight, so we'll talk about it. Move in together before marriage. 78% said yes, 22% said no. I said no for like the longest time, and then I changed it to I would not move in unless we were engaged. And I changed that kind of early on. But for me, my stance, and there's no right or wrong answer. I know so many people who move in with boyfriends, girlfriends. I think it's very, very normal and even considered like a step in a relationship. I said that I did not want to financially tie myself to somebody. And we're talking about Joseph. Like Joseph was the only guy that I ever got to the point where that would have made sense. And at one point I was at a desperate point. So I wanted to move in, and that like I did bring up that conversation. That was when I was at a low point. Like the reasons I did that were not very good. But my general stance was that I did not want to financially tie myself to somebody in case something were to go wrong. We would hold ourselves in a poor relationship situation longer than we should because we had a lease, because we had like financial stakeholdings in the other. I think it was like a protection thing. I didn't want to stay in a, you could say dangerous at its worst, or just like not great, situation at its best where people are unhappy, just because, we live together, so I'm going to stick it out a little bit longer. That was my thought process there. But I know a lot of people, I think it's a lot more normal. Like obviously moving together before marriage, yes, like 78% would do that. And I should have put another one, moving together before you're engaged. We'll have to do that on the next poll. All right. Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. What is your style of fighting in a relationship? There's the venter who needs to get it out and solve it. there's the hider who needs time and space before approaching, they'll kind of go to themselves, come back. And then there's the exploder, which is self-explanatory. They need their emotions. When I was reading about it, you need your emotions to be heard. You need your emotions to be felt. You need your emotions to be seen. So 43% are venters. They need to get it out. They need to solve it. Like they need to just like go through the problem pretty rapidly. 42% are hiders. They need to step back, evaluate, maybe take it in themselves, and then approach. But they're gonna probably avoid the subject or not, they won't bring it up right away. And then 15% are exploders. And I think people would like look down at the exploders. I don't. I think there's certainly, it can be exploding or yelling or aggressive forms of communication in a fight can be something that is dangerous and that is uncomfortable and not productive, and harmful to that person's feelings. However, I also think there's times when emotion needs to be heard and emotion needs to be seen, and people who are more reserved don't express it in the way that they should, and so that message doesn't get across. And I think there's probably always a way to make a really good argument and express your emotion in a strong way without yelling. But like, I didn't grow up in a yelling household, and there are some, and it's glamorized because I see it on TV and shows and things, but there are times when I see people fighting and it's both of them coming from, like, they're raising their voice. They're expressive, they're loud, they're letting it be seen. You fully understand the extent of, like, let's say their anger because they are actively expressing it. And I'm like, wow, that looks so freeing. And I think this works best when you have two parties who express in that same way. It doesn't mean that the situation has escalated any higher. It doesn't mean that the situation is any more serious or that like there's now become like a new problem. It's just the way they communicate. I've seen people fight and I was like, wow, this is crazy that I can see somebody yelling and yet I still know that they are yelling from a place of like love. Very odd to me. And I think that this is definitely like more common in Italian households. I think this is more common in like the New England areas, New York's. Like these are like the areas or like that I'm familiar with. I'm sure that there's more. But I find it interesting, I would say that I'm a venter. And this is what I was thinking of, like going to bed mad. Yeah, I can't really fester on a problem. Like if I know there's a problem between us, then I like, and you have a problem with me, especially like I did something wrong or I know you're mad at me. Yeah, we got to nip that in the bud because I will go feral on the inside. Like I'll stop eating. Like I can't sleep. I'll go insane so like if Joseph is needing some hiding time, I'm not doing well. I need us to decode this right now, but that's not necessarily what he needs all the time. And, but I think it's good. Like if you are that type of person and then you have an anxious partner who wants to get it out, wants to talk about it, there's reassurance like, hey, I need time to, like, we're okay. I need time to step away so that I can communicate my thoughts to you. But like, we will talk about it, but we are okay. I think that's fully what that person, I know that's what I would be looking for, is that reassurance. And then I'm trying to think if I think there's times when I hide. There's times when I like don't bring something up. If I don't bring something up, it's when I think that I might be the problem and there is a sensitivity that I have or that something made me upset and I'm trying to establish if it's honestly, if somebody has made me angry, that's when I'm a hider because I will always assume that my anger is my fault and that if I'm angry at somebody, it's because of my own problem or my own insecurities or my own something, which I think there's truth in that, and then there's also not. But because of that, I won't go straight to them, like explaining why I'm mad. I will make sure that it's not something that I can't sort of communicate with myself and get out of it, get over it. Or if it's something that I really do need to communicate with this person. And then I'm certainly not an exploder. But there is times when I wish I was, just so I could know that if somebody hurt me in a way where I needed to explode, that I could. I don't think that I could. Can you have friends of the opposite sex? 92% said yes, 8% said no. It's a pretty low percentage of people that said no, but that's still 10 votes, you know. And then could your partner go to, okay, this I thought was interesting. So first question is, could your partner go to lunch with a friend of the opposite sex? And then second question is, could your partner go to dinner with a friend of the opposite sex? 78% said yes to lunch. 78% said, yeah, they can go to lunch with a person of the opposite sex. 22% said no. So I find this interesting. So can you have friends of the opposite sex? 8% said no. Can your partner go to lunch with a friend of the opposite sex? 22% said no. Then could your partner go to dinner with a friend? Good God. Could your partner go to dinner with a friend of the opposite sex? 36% said no. 64% said yes. Still, the majority say like yes, it's fine to go and I think that's pretty. I don't know. In my friend group, like it's very common for people to have girl-guy friends that are whatever opposite. But I found it interesting that 8% said that you can have friends. You cannot have friends of the opposite sex. And then it grew. Can you have lunch with like opposite sex? 22% said no. And then can you have dinner? 36% said no. So it just gets larger and larger. Last question. Could your partner have a best friend of the opposite sex? This is interesting because we had friends of the opposite sex and 8% said no, you cannot have friends of the opposite sex. Can they have a best friend of the opposite sex? 39% said no. 61% said yes. I asked this because Joseph has, I'd say, several. I know there's one main. No, I'd say there's like several. No, why am I saying? There is several best friends of the opposite sex. I did have somebody message me and say that yes, but we would have to have known them before. So could your partner go to dinner? Oh, this person says, could your partner go to dinner with a friend of the opposite sex? They said as long as they were friends before us. I'm finding the messages. Oh, it's in the back. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm finding the messages about, this Instagram hidden request thing is really, really messing me up. Finding the messages about like the name hyphenations. Okay, let's go over this. So to the name hyphenations, my husband and I both hyphenated. We are starting our own family lineage and are expecting our first baby in July. Oh my God. Oh, I have to, I really need to like respond to these. Somebody said these were good. Can't wait for the episode. I love that. Somebody read the text message thing wrong. I read it as if I read text sent to me by them, not text sent to them from other people. Oh, LOL. Somebody said about the tampons, God, people should not do this. These little white rats will clog your pipes. No, I'm learning that. LOL, this is so funny. And then somebody said, I think I would do hyphenated my last name. My parents had all girls, or a new name altogether. That makes sense. I think especially when a female comes from a family where there are no boys to like carry on that name, it's kind of hard. Also, have you seen that it's like a trend now to get your maiden name tattooed on you, like before you get married? I think that's so cute. I don't really want Boss tattooed on me. I think it'd be cuter if it was a cuter last name. It's a cool last name. It's not a cute last name. Like Boss, like where? Why would I? No, I don't think so. Also, I sort of get to hold on to it because all my socials, once I change my name, no, I don't know when I will do that. That's a lot. And we're doing like international travel in like 2 months. So it's certainly not going to be now. I'm positive I'm going to go into my 2-year anniversary having not changed my name. And you know what? That is so on brand because there's something about me. Paperwork procrastination. Hooey. Post office procrastination. Whoa. I've literally had things I should have mailed. I think I've gone over a year without mailing things because my procrastination of that. So certainly, yeah, you can bet that the paperwork to change my name, that's going to take a while. Okay. Any Who's all? That was all the polls. Oh, this was such a good one. And I love polls that are juicy, that are spicy. I hope that you guys found this interesting. Thank you guys for always being a safe and open space for me to chat and be open. And thank you guys for participating. We had so much participation on these polls. I cannot express to you how appreciative I am of that. Please, if you enjoy this episode, share with a friend, post it on your Instagram stories so that we can tag you. The more sharing, the better. Really, like, transparently, we're really trying to grow this podcast, okay? And we are a small but mighty community, and I'd love it to be bigger. I'd love us to have a lot more people in here living, laughing, loving, a lot more mutual friends. So talk to your mutual friends, bring them in the group. This is the little rally cry, but I hope you are doing well. I hope you are staying safe. I hope you are having fun. I hope the sunshine is shining on your face, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Fill up. Ow. Oh God. I've been assaulted by my table. Damn. I hurt like a bitch.